Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2018 comedy film Night School, a film that is directed by Malcolm D. Lee and it stars Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. Now, I'm quite a big fan of Kevin Hart. Generally speaking, I enjoy most of his films. I think he's a very talented comedy actor, and don't have a problem with him at all, really. And what is Night School about? Well, Night School focuses on Kevin Hart's character, Teddy Walker, and we meet him sometime in the past. He's not doing particularly well at high school, and he basically flunks his high school test. I don't know what the equivalent is in the UK, but he basically fails high school. He goes on to a reasonably successful career as a salesman. That ends up going terribly wrong, and his girlfriend Lisa, who is quite a successful woman in the workplace herself, Kevin Hart's character Teddy feels like he has to constantly impress her to keep her. So it all goes terribly wrong at this sales job that he has at like his barbecue place. All goes wrong there, and he ends up he needs to get a new job, but he doesn't have his high school diploma, if you like. So his job options are limited. And now he has a friend like on a huge sales company. It says, I can get you a job here, but you need to get your high school, you need to pass your high school test. So he has to go back to night school, and this night school is run by Tiffany Haddish's character, Carrie. She's the tutor on the night school in the evening, and the principal of this school is an old foe from his high school days, and they didn't get on particularly well. So, as you can imagine with a movie like this, it's a comedy. This night school class is full of oddball characters. The usual kind of cliched comedy characters that you would see that Carrie, the tutor, has to control and teach. So you've got Kevin Hart, you've got a guy in prison, you've got a young girl that dropped out of high school, you've got a housewife desperate to do something with her life, you've got another guy, Rob Riggle, who's trying to impress his son, etc, etc. You can go on and on and on. And all sorts of shenanigans take place. Now then, what did I think of Night School? Well, not a lot, actually. I can forgive usually comedies a lot if primarily they can make me laugh. And barring a couple of times, this just, I didn't find it particularly funny. I found it cliched, poorly written in the fact that it's old-fashioned, and we've seen this type of comedy over and over again. It's been done so many times now. They've got to do something different with it, and this doesn't do anything different with it really. Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart in this. He tries his best with this material, but it's just not written as being funny. I didn't find an awful lot of this funny. The situation, and I think what put the final nail in the coffin for this movie for me was the way it approached learning disabilities. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but I feel I have to talk about it. It's revealed late in the film that Kevin Hart's character, they test him, but he's got some form of learning disabilities, and by that dyslexia and a few other conditions that prevent him from learning the way you and I do. Now that's fair enough. I applaud them for, raising some kind of awareness to it, but the way they do it was just appalling. They basically make fun of it, which to someone myself who has worked and supported previously people with learning disabilities, and educationally as well as otherwise, I didn't appreciate their take on learning disabilities, and I know nothing is sacred when it comes to comedy, but I just thought the comedy here was in bad taste, in my opinion, and to me it seriously soured this film. You've got the cliched principal, who's an old foe of Kevin Hart's, Teddy's, and you can see what's happening there a mile away. You've got to have a foe, you've got to have a villain, and it's been done so many times before. I think Tiffany Haddish's character Carrie was fine, other than she wasn't given great material to work with. I thought she was amusing at times. I thought Kevin Hart was amusing at times. It raised giggles, but their approach to learning and teaching just missed the mark for me. You can do all that and be funny, but you know, trying to teach someone who's got learning disabilities to focus and remember things by beating the shit out of them in a UFC ring, I don't recall them teaching that, you know, at teaching school. You know, if you go to teaching school tomorrow, that won't be on the agenda for you to be taught how to teach people with disabilities by beating the crap out of them in a UFC ring. So there's just so much here that wasn't funny, unfortunately. There's some weird choices in regards to what they do. There's a scene where Rob Riggle breaks his arm, and it seriously breaks his arm, and then the next scene is absolutely fine. So I think this is a bit of a miss for me. Barely raised a smile. It's a 5 out of 10. I think the only two that come out of this film with any kind of real credit is actually Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish, who do fine with the material they've got. It's just weak material, unfortunately. So that's Night School, a bit of a disappointment, I have to say. So I do hope you enjoyed this review, and I shall see you next time on Screen Stars.